A lot of financial problems don't start with a crisis. They start with something small, something that feels harmless, something that quietly repeats every single month. And before you realize it, that small habit has been shaping your entire financial future. My name is Mike, and I'm really glad you're here. I make videos that explain money in a calm, practical way, without hype or pressure. If you find this kind of steady guidance helpful, take a moment to like the video and subscribe so you don't miss future conversations that make personal finance feel simpler and more manageable. Today, I want to talk about what I call the $300 habit. It's not a specific bill. It's not one subscription. It's not a single mistake. It's the pattern of consistently spending about $300 a month on things that don't truly improve your long-term life. On the surface, $300 doesn't seem dramatic, but over time, it can quietly keep you financially stuck. Why this financial problem happens? $300 feels manageable. It doesn't trigger alarm bells. It's not a luxury car payment. It's not a massive credit card balance. It's dinners out, upgraded gadgets, impulse online orders, delivery fees, small treat-yourself moments. The reason this becomes a problem isn't because spending is bad. It's because small, recurring spending blends into normal life. You adjust to it. It becomes part of your routine. And when something becomes routine, you stop questioning it. There's also a psychological factor at play. When we work hard, we feel entitled to small rewards. That's human. After a long week, spending money can feel like relief. It feels earned. The brain connects spending with comfort. The issue isn't the occasional reward. The issue is when that reward becomes automatic and constant. $300 every month becomes $3,600 every year. Over 10 years, that's $36,000. And that's before considering what that money could have grown into if invested. Small habits shape financial outcomes far more than big decisions. Step-by-step financial guidance. Let's break this down calmly and practically. Step 1 is awareness. Not judgment, just awareness. Look at the last 3 months of your bank statements. Add up the small, non-essential categories. Dining out, delivery, random online shopping, upgrades you didn't truly need, convenience spending. You're not looking for perfection, you're looking for patterns. Step 2 is separating enjoyment from autopilot spending. Ask yourself a simple question. Which of these purchases genuinely improved my life, and which were just habits? There's a difference between a meaningful dinner with friends and ordering food because you're too tired to think. One builds connection. The other builds a pattern. Step 3 is creating friction. Habits thrive on convenience. If spending $300 a month is easy, it continues. You can interrupt it by adding small barriers. Remove saved card details from shopping apps. Wait 48 hours before buying non-essential items. Set a weekly spending cap instead of a monthly one. Step 4 is redirecting, not restricting. Instead of saying, I can't spend this, say, I'm choosing where this goes. If you reduce that 300 to 100 and redirect 200 into investing or debt reduction, you haven't lost money. You've reassigned it. Step 5 is automation. Once you decide on a healthier allocation, automate it. If $200 is going toward investing or debt repayment, schedule it to move automatically at the start of each month. That way, it doesn't rely on willpower. Real-life example. Let's talk about Spender Mike. Spender Mike works hard. He earns a decent income. He doesn't feel reckless. He just likes comfort. He upgrades his phone a little early. He orders delivery 3 or 4 times a week. He grabs coffee on the way to work every morning. None of these feel extreme. When he looks at his spending, he realizes he averages about $300 a month on convenience and small upgrades. He tells himself it's fine because he's not in debt. But he also notices something else. His savings account hasn't grown in a year. His investment contributions are inconsistent. He feels like he's working hard but not moving forward. Once Spender Mike becomes aware of the pattern, he doesn't eliminate all enjoyment. He decides to keep one weekly dinner out. He keeps his morning coffee twice a week instead of 5 times. He postpones the phone upgrade for another year. He frees up about $200 a month. He automates it into an index fund. After a year, he sees progress. Not dramatic wealth, just visible movement. That visible movement changes how he feels about money. He feels intentional instead of reactive. The difference wasn't income, it was awareness and redirection. Common mistakes. One common mistake is going too extreme. Some people see the numbers and immediately try to cut everything. That rarely lasts. If you remove all enjoyment, you'll eventually swing back harder. Another mistake is focusing only on cutting without building. If you reduce spending but don't redirect the freed up money towards something productive, it slowly disappears back into daily life. A third mistake is believing small amounts don't matter. $300 doesn't feel life-changing, but habits repeated monthly compound just like investments do. The question isn't whether $300 is huge. The question is whether it's shaping your long-term direction. Finally, some people assume they need to earn more to fix the problem. Higher income helps, but if the $300 habit scales with income, the pattern stays the same. More income with the same behavior doesn't create stability. It creates larger expenses. Simple action plan. Here's a calm, practical plan you can follow. First, review your last 90 days of spending. Circle or highlight non-essential recurring costs. Second, calculate your personal version of the $300 habit. It might be $200, it might be $400. The exact number doesn't matter. The pattern does. Third, choose a realistic reduction, not elimination. If you spend $300, aim to reduce by $100 or $150. Fourth, automate the difference. Send it toward an emergency fund if you don't have one, or toward paying down high-interest debt, or toward a simple, long-term investment account. Fifth, reassess after 3 months. Don't expect overnight transformation. Look for trend changes. This approach works because it respects your psychology. It allows enjoyment while creating progress. Long-term mindset shift. The deeper shift isn't about $300. It's about moving from unconscious spending to conscious allocation. When you're stuck financially, it often feels confusing. You work hard. You earn money. But nothing changes. That feeling usually comes from small habits that leak progress. Financial freedom doesn't usually come from dramatic sacrifices. It comes from aligning your daily behavior with your long-term goals. Imagine redirecting $200 a month into investments for 10 years. That's $24,000 contributed. With growth, it becomes significantly more. More importantly, you build a habit of choosing your future over short-term impulses. The goal isn't to remove joy from your life. It's to make sure your spending reflects your priorities. Some months, that might mean enjoying experiences. Other months, it might mean leaning into growth. Balance is the key. When you control small recurring habits, you regain control over your financial direction. That control reduces stress. It builds confidence. It turns money from something that just happens into something you intentionally manage. Calm closing insight. The $300 habit doesn't look dangerous. That's why it's powerful. But once you see it clearly, you can reshape it. You don't need drastic change. You need consistent redirection. Small adjustments, repeated monthly, can quietly transform your financial trajectory over time. If this video was helpful and answered some of your questions, hit the like button and subscribe for more calm, practical conversations about money. I'm glad you spent this time with me, and I'll see you in the next one.